Flylady Diane here. Hooray! It's Friday. We managed to get to the end of another week. I did a question and answer session yesterday, and there was a question that I was going to put into that, and I thought, no, it really deserves a little session on its own. So that's what I'm going to do today, because it ties in nicely with another thing that's happening right now, which is our new habit for the month of June. Now, if you, just before we really get started, remember, if you're about to start watching this video, please just make sure that you are dressed to shoes. And remember, getting dressed to shoes, don't worry too much about the shoes part of it. I know I've talked about again, we don't wear shoes in the house in Denmark, but I have some clean, old elasticated sandals that I'm wearing right now. As you can see, some of the little sparkly bits have fallen off, so I wouldn't wear them going into town, but they're great for me for running up and down stairs here in the house. Slippers are dangerous for me. We've got 3 flights of stairs. I'm carrying things up and down, so I like you know, trainers, what you would call in the States, you know, sports shoes. Just an old pair of sports shoes that you clean up. If it's too hot for sports shoes, you know, elasticated sandals. But don't get caught up too much in this I don't wear shoes, and just try it, okay? And the main thing is that we're just getting dressed so that we can go out at a moment's notice, and so that we feel dressed and able to work. And nobody's saying that you need to wear your shoes all day. When you've done your work, you can take off your shoes, relax. But if you have trouble getting started, shoes and getting dressed, that's the way to go. Anyway, sorry, I've got the dishwasher running again. I don't want to stop it because it's been a bit weird the last couple of days, and I'm just trying to, well, it sounds all right. Anyway, so if you've got, I hope you're dressed to shoes when you're watching this video. Also, if there's anything that you need to check on, do you need to run the dishwasher, reboot the laundry, quickly go and do that. Maybe grab yourself a water, because today we are talking about the new Flylady. Oh, there we go, it's finished. Good, let me just switch that off. Yay, it worked. Oh, there's nothing worse than thinking that you've got a problem with the dishwasher. Anyway, my dishwasher is done. So, every month in Flylady, we add in a new habit. In January, it's shining your sink. February is dressing to shoes. And you can go to flylady.net and have a look at the habits. And it's just small habits that help to improve our life, our outlook, our homes. And the month of June is drink your water. So, and remember, with Flylady, we are not going from like not doing anything to doing 500,000 million%. If you're not drinking any water right now, take it slowly and add in, you know, a glass or 2 per day, and try and build up that way. I'm going to give you a few tips now. And then after that, I'm going to get onto menu planning, because that's the other thing which comes up at this time of year, which might trip you up during the kids' school holidays. But anyway, let's take water first. Now, here's Flylady with her thing here. Hold on, I'll come down. Flylady, where can I put you? There you are, yeah. Now, a great thing to do is, if you're not getting enough water, use some triggers to help you drink your water. I've got the Flylady water bottles. You don't need Flylady water bottles, just use whatever you have. I mean, my daughter picked up this funny Rilakuma one in Japan. She likes that. Just remember and clean it out if you're using old water bottles. And a great thing to do is, for example, I work from home. I'm at home most of the day, so I leave a glass. I don't know if you can see it behind me at the sink. If I just move these out of the way. I've always got a glass at the sink, so every time I come into the kitchen, which is quite often during the day, I take a glass of water. The other thing that you can do is at the top of the hour, remember we talked about the top of the hour when we've got difficulties getting started or we're having a slow day, we do things at the top of the hour or the bottom of the hour. I'll put a link to that up there. At the top of the hour, you know, at 10 o'clock, you know, when you hear the news on the radio, when you hear the news on the television, that's a signal to you, a little trigger, drink a glass of water. And also every time you do a swish and swipe in your, if you're in the bathroom, do a swish and swipe and then take a glass of water, and then probably within half an hour you'll need to go to the toilet again. Every time you need to go wee, have a drink of water after that. And you, as I've said before, I'm not your mother, and Flylady's not your mother either. You know what you need to do. I can sit here saying to you, oh, you need to drink 8 glasses of water a day or whatever it is. You just find something that works for you, but just add in a little water, because often when we're feeling hungry, it's probably because we're a bit dehydrated. So make sure you take a glass of water regularly through the day. If you want to go and add, slices of lime, some mint leaves, strawberry, you do whatever you like. I'm not really into cold water. I like swimming in cold water, but I don't like drinking cold water. So I like just kind of room temperature water. So I take that from the tap. My daughter, she loves it with ice cubes, so that goes really well. These Flylady bottles, water bottles, are fantastic, and they're double insulated, so they don't kind of leave a mark if you leave them somewhere, with ice cubes in. Yeah, so the Flylady habit for the month of June is drink your water. If you're on the Flylady's Facebook page, you will see the reminders coming in. You'll probably get a reminder, if you're signed up for emails. We're just trying to really take care of ourselves, because a lot of us are not getting the water that we need, especially if you're taking medication, especially if you're living somewhere that is hot. I mean, even in Denmark it can get really hot, and we get alerts in the summer from the authorities saying, especially for the old and the infirm, to make sure you increase your water. So the other thing that you can do is, maybe fill up the water bottles as part of your evening routine or afternoon routine. Put them in the fridge so that the next morning you've got them ready to grab when you're going to school, work, out on an excursion. And I also like to keep a couple of extra water bottles in the car, just even for filling up the car with water and the windscreen wipers. So I'll keep it short and sweet for water. And then let's get on to the other thing, which was somebody asked for help in menu planning. Now, if you are, and also I want to say here, a lot of the questions that are coming in right now, I've covered everything. Like, I've covered menu planning, I've covered drinking your water, I've covered how to start decluttering, I've covered how to improve your routines. It's all in the 31 baby steps videos. I'll put a link there again. I'm sorry to go on and on about it, but if you've got a lot of questions about Flylady, go and watch those videos. Try not to take more than 1 or 2 a day. And if you've never done Flylady before, just start with the 31 baby steps, because all your questions about dressing to shoes, about how to get started when it's a bad day, if you're asking me how much time do I need to be working on missions, if you've watched the 31 baby steps, you'll know that we just do what we can, and there's no kind of you must be doing the mission, you must be doing detailed cleaning, you must be doing that every day. That is not the Flylady way, all right? So there's no need to be overwhelmed. We're here working as a team, and we've all got struggles. We all have down days, but if you've got lots of questions, go and look at the 31 baby step videos. Anyway, I have talked about menu planning before, because that's one of the steps in the 31 days. And I said this to you during the menu planning thing before. When we are menu planning, we are not doing this. We're not getting out all the cookbooks that we own and going through them all and going on to Pinterest and searching for exciting stuff. We're not doing that. These books are great for inspiration, and I like to, in Denmark we call it hygge, when we have a kind of nice time and relax and make everyday things fun. when I'm hooging, as we say, I like to sit with a cookbook and, you know, I mark recipes that I like, and you know, you've probably got favourites, old family favourites. I used to read the Nigella Lawson books. I don't really follow the recipes so much, but I like to read them. I used to read them for like as bedtime reading. But when we're menu planning for our family, you don't need, we're not doing that. We're, you know, I've said it before, but you know, we tend to go from not menu planning at all and, you know, going to get McDonald's and getting takeaway pizza, you know, we do all that. And then we think, oh dear, I'm a bad person, I need to menu plan, I should be doing better. And then we feel like, you know, we've got to be milking that cow and making our own cheese, and you know, it doesn't have to be like that. There is, you know, a middle way. So how are we going to menu plan? Well, first of all, here she goes with the timer. First of all, please take your timer and set it for no more than 15 minutes. All right, you're going to grab a glass of water, another glass of water for your day. You're going to grab a glass of water or a cup of coffee, you know, but let's try and make it water. You set your timer for 15 minutes and just take, here's one of my little books, just take a little notebook and brainstorm a few ideas for the next couple of days. You do not need to be planning for the whole month or for the whole week. I find it, personally, I find it really helpful to plan for the week, because I take my diary, see what's going on, and then what I have, and listen, you don't need to be doing the same as me. I've got some other ways of doing it, so don't feel like you must be doing the same as me. We're all different. I've done it different ways, but anyway, I've got one of these little charts with the days of the week, and it's got a little shopping list on it, and I brainstorm what we're going to have this week. And probably you will be like our family. There are certain days when the kids are out to scouts, band practice, I don't know what you have, church, bagpipe lessons, whatever it is. On the days when you are kind of coming and going and everybody's coming and going at different times, make it easy for yourself and plan something. The most regular thing that we have on those days is soup and sandwiches, like a grilled sandwich in the toaster machine and some soup. Now, before you say to me, oh, but where are all the vegetables? And you know what, when we are menu planning, we've got to make it easy on yourselves. Every day does not have to be a gourmet 3-course meal that ticks all the boxes nutrition-wise, because you'll find that when you start menu planning, most of the days will be quite healthy, and then other days when an emergency comes up, you can grab a frozen pizza from the freezer, you can chop up some carrots and some cucumber and some red bell pepper and serve that to the family, and you know what, it's all right, and the family are going to survive. You've just got to give them something to eat, all right? The problem is when we don't menu plan at all, that's when we're kind of pulling out those meals which aren't quite so nutritious every day. So we've got to get some balance here. By menu planning, by actually looking at what you've got in your cupboards, you know, you don't need to go buying a load of stuff. Look through your cupboards, especially when we're in zone 2, which will be next week when we're working here in the kitchen. When you're going through your larder, look and see what you have to use up. And you know, you can write down, you're going to have rice as a side dish one day, potatoes as another, mashed potato, noodles. There are also plenty of ideas on the flylady.net website. Look at menu planning. There's, because I think it's the month of November, might be menu plan. But anyway, just look in the box. You know, there's a little search box on the flylady.net website. Look there, and you know, you can do it that one day you have Mexican style food, another day you have Italian style food, another day you have American style food. You know, you can do it that way. Also, ask the children, ask your significant other if you have one, or a husband, and say, what are your favourite meals? Write them down. And another way you can do it, let me just get here. Okay, we've got an old Flylady calendar here, and I think it was Flylady Valerie that put me onto this tip. You write your, brainstorm with the family, get everybody together at the dinner table, and say to him, okay, what's your 2 or 3 favourite meals? And everybody's got their favourite thing, whether it's spaghetti bolognese or pasta mit sauce, as we call it in Denmark, or pasta with meat sauce, or maybe it's lasagna, maybe it's grilled chicken, maybe it's, I don't know, some kind of soy burgers. Ask them for their favourite things, and then you write them down, or get them to write them down on post-it notes, or little slips of paper, whatever you got. And then you can put them on your calendar. Now, let me see, if I've got them on here. And then you just, we only had big post-it notes at the time, but then you can plot out your menu like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then you just, once you've got about 20 meals, and remember to be good to yourself, add in a day where, you're getting takeout, getting takeaway, or going out for lunch, brunch, or dinner. You don't need to be cooking every day of the week. Remember, we're not kind of going from takeout to milking the cow. Remember, there is a medium way to go forward. What you can do is, once you've got like 21 meals, you just keep moving them forward, to the next week and changing up a bit. We used this idea, it worked quite well in the winter. One of the problem areas that you might come into right now is that you don't think you need to do menu planning because it's the end of the school year, or the kids are going to be home, we're just going to chill. Remember what I said yesterday, if you don't have a plan, things are just going to slide, and you're going to have that stress every day thinking, oh, we're just back from the beach and, there's nothing in the fridge. And then it's very easy to slide back into, getting takeout or not eating, so wisely. So do yourself a favour, just set your timer, 15 minutes, either brainstorm it yourself, or a great way, as I used to do, is when I was working, I would ask my co-workers what were they having for dinner. Because it's always great to ask everybody else, oh, what are you having for dinner? What are you having for dinner? And just, if you've got your little notebook with you, just write down those ideas. The good thing about planning a menu, and I plan it a week ahead, is I plan my menu, I'm checking what's in the fridge, I'm checking what's in the cupboards, I make my shopping list for errand day. And the kids also, if they see that we are running low on something, there's always Toblerone on this list for some reason, it wasn't me who wrote that. The good thing about having your shopping list is that you can make your list for errand day, and when you go to the store, you remember actually to get all the ingredients that you need. And by having your list, you're kind of also planning for leftovers. That's what I do. If I make up a really big portion of meat sauce, for spaghetti bolognese, I make a double portion of the meat sauce, and a few days later, I put it in the fridge, the leftover meat sauce, and a few days later I can turn that into chili. I add some, kidney beans and chili powder, serve it with rice, you know how that works. So plan for leftovers. That's also going to make it easier for yourself. If you're cooking one roast chicken, cook 2 and freeze the other one, or use it for a chicken salad. Anyway, you're going to have your menu plan, and you'll find that once you're kind of planning your menu, then it will feel easier to kind of go back and have a look, on Pinterest, have a look in your favourite books, and you can start adding in something new that you want to try, an old favourite that you'd forgotten about. But if you're not planning right now, it just seems so overwhelming. Where do you start? So just start with a couple of days. If you can manage the week, that's great. And what else was I going to say? I think that's about it. Gosh, I've been talking for 20 minutes. I didn't intend to speak for this long. But please just make sure also at this time of year, think about, you know, what you're going to have for breakfast, what you're going to have for lunch, because if you are now going to have the kids at home every day, you know that kids are hungry, they've got to be fed and watered, you know, every half an hour to keep them happy. Just make sure you've got plenty of healthy snacks, you know, carrots, keep loads of carrots in the fridge, you know, apples, and also make sure that they are drinking their water, because quite often when the kids are hungry, it's probably because they're a bit dehydrated. Anyway, so I'm going to wrap it up there because that was an awful lot and I didn't mean to ramble on so much. Sorry. And as I say, if you have other questions that are coming up, go and look at the 31 days of baby steps, because the answer will probably be in there. And thanks also to everybody who's in the comments who's answering questions there. As I said, I read all the comments. I can't answer them all, because if I started answering them all, I would not be a good Flylady mentor, because I would be spending too much time doing that instead of running, you know, business, family and me time. And please, we're coming up for the weekend. It is Friday. So Friday, you know, go ahead, tidy out your purse, your handbag, your sports bag, the kids' rucksacks, their school bags. Go and tidy out those. Make sure that your car is filled up with petrol and is clean, so you might want to go off and do something nice tomorrow with your family. And the last thing I was going to say, oh yeah, please, it is the weekend. You do not have to be on call, on duty, 24 hours a day. I want you to, at the end of play today, you know, like as if you're working from home, if you're working at home, if you are retired, just make a list. You know, I love my little notebooks. Make a list of the things that are on your mind, things, you know, projects that are coming up. Just make a list and then put that list away and know that you're going to get it on Monday morning. I don't want you to be on the go all the time. You've got to remember and take 15 minutes for yourself. That's what I'm going to be doing right now before I start work. I'm going to take 15 minutes for myself, and I think I'm going to go outside in the garden, have a cup of coffee, recharge my batteries and get on with my day. So, gosh, 23 minutes, right, really have to get cracking now. Have a wonderful weekend. I shall be back with you Monday morning. Don't expect to see me over the weekend because I am not going to be around the internet the whole weekend. I'm going to recharge my batteries, probably watch some Iron Man this weekend. Anyway, that's it for me, Flylady Diane. Hope you have a wonderful weekend and I shall see you on Monday. Live long and prosper, and yeah, that's it for now. Bye.